All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rekakwadash. Double honor to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone who do rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to all you Akim out there pushing this truth across the four winds so we can seal the elect and make it to the kingdom. All right, it's the brother Uriah. Lord willing, coming back to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Lord willing to feed the body and edify the sheep in all spirit, faith, truth, sincerity, and doctrine. All right. Now, as you can see with today's title, it's through the spirit, Dr. Umar, all right, Dr. Umar Johnson needs to listen to the apostles of Great Millstone. Okay, Dr. Umar needs to listen to the apostles of Great Millstone. All right, for those of you brothers that know of Dr. Umar, all right, he is a Jake, all right, that goes around preaching that Pan-African BS. All right, but one of the main things that he preaches is, or his main message, I should say, is that the so-called black man should be with the so-called black woman, and you shouldn't go outside of the so-called black woman. You shouldn't go to the white woman. You shouldn't go to the Asian woman. You shouldn't, you should stay with the so-called black woman. If you're a black man, link with the black woman, right? But Dr. Umar Johnson, all right, he needs to, I'm not even sure if that's his last name. Dr. Umar, all right, needs to listen to the apostles of Great Millstone, all right? And what message does he needs to listen to? Let's go ahead and pull that up now before we get into the video. And Lord willing, this is edifying to the body, and it feeds the sheep through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, all right? Just want to make sure it's on the screen. Okay, cool. This is a video right here. All right, it's an old video. All right, oldie but goodie. All right, from Great Millstone Last Stand. All right, for those of you brothers that know. All right, this is the apostle. All right, Apostle Rakah. All right, of Great Millstone. Okay, and then you have four apostles. Okay, of Great Millstone. All right, Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Rakah, and Apostle Ramla. Okay, and they all have the same stance when it comes to the so-called black woman. Okay, stay the hell away. All right, so I'm gonna play this little clip here. All right, and then we'll jump to Dr. Umar. All right.
Black men with money that's leaving America and going elsewhere because they're just done. They wash their hands with the American black woman because these American black women are just demented, and listen, bro. Any of you brothers that still waiting around for the black woman here in America to change, she ain't gonna change. They're gonna double down more like they're doing now. Like, the black woman, these passport brothers, they're pedophiles. They sex.
You hear that? Let me bring it back a little more. All right, that's the message to the wise men.
Demented, and listen, bro. Any of you brothers that still waiting around for the black woman here in America to change, she ain't gonna change. They're gonna double down more like they're doing now. Like,
she ain't gonna change. She's gonna double down more. That's right, Apostle. All right, that is right. All right, now let's see. Dr. Umar Johnson. Okay, now this brother here. All right, this guy here, mediocre tutorials and reviews. All right, this guy here, this is his channel. All right, free use. I'm not making any type of monetary funds off of this video. Okay, so YouTube, back off. All right, but this guy here, mediocre tutorial and reviews. All right, MTR. Okay, he had this video right here that he just posted. Dr. Umar publicly crashes out after his wife disrespects him. All right. Now, how did she disrespect him? Now, this is a so-called black woman, by the way. Okay. Remember, this guy, Dr. Umar, he preaches. All right. He's been preaching for years. The so-called black man should be with the so-called black woman. Okay. All right. But you heard the apostles' message. All right. From a wise man to other wise men. All right. The warning. Hey, look, stay away from these so-called black women because they're not going to get any better. Matter of fact, they're going to double down. They're going to get worse. All right. Now let's play this here.
So anyway, the reason why I'm talking about this is that Dr. Umar has just had an epic crash out of preposterous proportions And we need to go over it. This brother had a young lady that he's describing as the throat goat steal banking information from him. I think Dr. Umar needs to come on this side of the internet and listen to the content that we go over so we can learn something, because this seems to happen to him, right? He just, every couple of years I hear about some chick is outing him for this or that. Like, but let's just get straight down up into
it. Ain't some chick, it's the black woman. Because remember he preaches, don't deal with the snow bunnies. And let me tell you something, okay? If you're a man, of wisdom, okay, it'd be wise for you to, deal with the snow every now and then, okay? All right? We ain't talking about marriage. We ain't talking about relationships, okay? We're talking about strictly, for play, okay? Because all of these women, according to the scriptures, all of these women are whores, okay? All of them, all right? You see? And Dr. Umar Johnson, he also preaches, to put a wedding band on the woman, marry her. Okay. Show me wedding band in the Bible. Okay. This ain't IUIC. Okay. They might preach that and teach that, but we don't. Okay. Because we're wise men. All right. Let's keep going.
To the content. The post reads, yikes, Dr. Umar blasts woman that he was dealing with, accuses her of stealing banking information and discussing his mother's health. HIPAA violation. Queen of Fishy Coochie. 3 throat goat sessions turned into a 2.5-year relationship with marriage, love, and masturbation. Let's listen.
Lene Stacks. Siobhan Stone, Lene Stacks, throat goat.
Damn.
Hood rat.
Whoa.
Jump off.
Wow.
Fishy Coochie. Fishy Coochie. The queen of Fishy Coochie. I believe she may have taken.
Fishy Coochie, man. You see all these things about her, but you married her, man. You married her. You see that? 3 throat goat sessions turned into 2.5-year relationship with marriage, love, and lewdness. Okay.
Information regarding the bank account of FDMG and my personal. I discussed this with the attorneys. The attorneys told me.
Real quick, FDMG, I believe that's referring to the school that he's been attempting to create for like a decade now. Let's keep going.
That it would be in my advantage if Siobhan Stone, throat goat, or Pastor Bussy tries to
Umar
access my personal account or the school's account, because that is a federal crime. I saw her privately 3 times inside of the same Philadelphia hotel after hours for no more than 2 or 3 hours.
I'm gonna clip over to go to the rest of his conversations because he.
All right, well, look, you can watch the video if you want to get the, the rest of the information, man. We don't want to turn this into a gossip session. All right, but as you can see, all right, Dr. Umar, Mr. Black Queen, marry and get with your black queens himself, all right, is publicly crashing out because his wife is stealing money from him, man. Okay. The black queen is stealing money from him, man. But that's why I titled this, Dr. Umar Johnson needs to listen to the apostles of Great Millstone, man. Okay. Because if he listened to wise counsel from wise men, all right, then he shall walk in wisdom. All right. Now he ain't the only one. Okay, I'm gonna get another example, but before that, all right, let's get this. I don't know what order I'm gonna put this in, but let's get this. This is the book of Isaiah. All right, whenever it loads up, it's the book of Isaiah, the Wadi Yabashim Shai, chapter 3 and verse 24, and it reads, "And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell," because remember he called her, the queen of fishy coochie. Okay. But instead of sweet smell, all right, down there at the viscer innards, all right, the vajayjay, it says there shall be stink, all right. That's the Israelite woman, okay? Has to continuously, hey, if you get you a good woman, she's gonna continuously take multiple baths, all right, daily, all right. But most of these women, they don't, okay, all right. And I can tell you firsthand, man, coming from the entertainment industry, man, okay, you can come across the most beautiful women, and guess what? They nasty, they stink, all right. I'm talking about Israelite women, especially the black woman, okay. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, it's like there shall be stink. All right. Stank. And instead of a girdle, okay, having a nice fit body, right? A rent. All right. They got the fupas, they all fat. Okay. I don't care what none of you little 2025 Negroes say. Okay. These women aren't thick, they're fat, they're overweight, man. Damn near all of them are obese. Okay. And the ones that are slim and fit, they're whores. They're mega whores. Because every guy wants them. You know? It says instead of well set hair, baldness. All right. They ain't got the long hair. Okay. Most of our women, especially the black women, is bald head, scallywag. Ain't got no hair in the back. Okay. It says, and instead of a stomachture, all right, a girding of sackcloth. Okay. All right. Fat, nasty, and burning instead of beauty. Okay. They're ugly. All right. You got a lot of butter faced. Okay. Butter faces out here, man. Brothers know what I'm talking about. All right. Let me get another one here. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7. And I believe that's verse 26. All right. And it reads, and I find more bitter than death, the woman. All right. And in this case, the so-called black woman. All right. Israelite woman, period. Okay. But in this case, on topic, the black woman. All right. And I find more bitter than death, the woman whose heart, all right. And that word heart, okay, goes back to the Hebrew word lab, which means your mind. Okay. Whose heart or her mind is snares and nets. Okay. She's always trying to trap you, always trying to figure out a way to get over on you. Okay. Lie, cheat, and steal. That's the woman's mind, man. Okay, it says in her hands as bands. Okay, look, a wedding band, right? Matter of fact, let's look up this word band. I want to get the definition to this word band. Where can we look it up at? Well, I'll copy it. I'll look it up after this. Okay, let's finish this off. Okay, in her hands as bands. Okay, whoso pleaseth Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, all right, the men of the Lord, the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, or Yashar Allah, okay, shall escape from her. See? But the sinner shall be taken by her, okay, like Dr. Umar Johnson, man, okay? He is an Israelite, whether he wants to admit it, claim it or not, okay? He is by blood and by lineage an Israelite, okay? But he's a wicked Israelite, okay? That preaches that book, excuse my language, that preaches that BS, okay? Worshiping false gods, Egyptology, pyramid, and Africa worship, right? And that's why he can't escape the wicked woman. Just like this guy says, man, you know what? Every couple of years, this guy always winds up getting, finessed by a so-called nigger woman, man. See? But the sinner shall be taken by her. Okay, now I want to look up that word bands. Okay, bands. What does the word band mean? Okay, let's do this. All right. Band definition. All right. What's the definition of band? What are bands? Okay, because her hands is as bands, right? Look, band. All right, a flat or strip material, typically look, a flat thin strip or loop of material put around something, right? Typically to hold it together or to decorate it. Okay. Hmm. That sounds like what our ancestors, okay, Israelite ancestors, got put around their necks, their wrists, and their ankles when they were being carried off into slavery over here in America, man. You see, it says a stripe or take with difficult. Okay, texture, color. Okay, let's just go into something else. Okay, all right, a mark or stripes of different colors. Some okay. Well, let's go back to this first definition here. Okay, all right, a ribbon. It's like okay, a band. Let's go to the images. What is a band? Okay, it's not talking about a musical band either. Okay, look, see, what type of bands is it talking about? Okay, so look, a rubber band, right? A rubber band, right? A wedding band, right? See, look, a wedding band that goes around your finger, okay? Which is symbolic, all right, that you have been now that you are now slave, all right? You are now a slave to the government and to the woman, man, okay? And she can take everything that you got now, man, okay? With the help of Esau Edom and his government system, man. Okay? That's why they call it a wedding band, okay? All right? Now I want to actually show you something here. I'll do this. I'll do this. Uh, band, look, band slaves. Okay, band slaves. Let's see what pops up. Look, it's talking about music and shit, man. All right. Well, I guess it's a band called the Slaves. Let's see. Band for slavery. Let's see. See if that pops up. Look, look. Let's see. They're still showing musical bands, man. It's Esau Edom, man. All right. Okay. Look, bands. Let me see. Okay, you're not gonna show slave bands. Okay. All right. But pretty much band. Matter of fact, let's do this. All right, because I want to make this point. So I don't mean to harp on it too much, but I do want to make this point. All right, let's go into the etymology of the word band. Okay. See if that helps out more and get down to the root of the word band. Okay. All right, band. Look, a flat strip. Let me see. Yeah, let's go into something else. Look, a flat strip. Okay. Fetter. Look, bond, fetter. Okay. Shackle, chain. That by which someone or something is bound. Okay. You see? And to be bound is to be in captivity, man. Okay. Like a wedding band, right? Which is symbolic to, like I mentioned earlier, symbolic to you being under servitude and slavery, all right, to Esau and his government through the woman, all right, through that bond you have with the woman, man. All right. And what proves that? And this guy too, this guy, let's do this. This guy, Dwight Howard, he needs to listen to the apostles of Great Millstone as well, because let's see what he's going through. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Before it plays, I want to actually point something out too.
Feel better.
All right. So before that plays, all right, this is from this channel here, THPP Network. Okay, free use. And they write, struggle rapper divorces Dwight Howard, the basketball player, after he demands her to do this. All right. But I want you to check this out. Listen to this.
Cost effective. Got rid of everything I had from my past life. ended up meeting my wife. Everything I got back greater because I was willing to give up. What are you willing to give up to get?
Well, and see, this is that love bomb, you know, that what do they call it? The honeymoon stage. All right. Oh, I love you, baby. I'll give you the world. You see, a lot of you men, hey, the scriptures say, in fact, let me grab it. The scriptures say, many men have gone out of their wits. All right. Out of wits. Let's just put that. I know it's in Sirach. All right, Lord will it pops up right here at the Wadi Yabba Shemiel Shai. First, Salak is in First Esdras. I am corrected. First Esdras chapter 4 and verse 26. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits. Okay, your wits, all right, is your reasoning, your thought process. Okay, you know, before every action, all right, you should think about what you're going to do. Think about the pros and the cons of it before you act. Or is it even worth acting upon? Okay, that's your wits. All right, and these dudes have ran all out of their wits and their reasoning for women and become servants, slaves, wedding band. Up everything and met his wife. Right? Let's see.
6 months later.
Yeah, so Amber, or Amy, as people might know her from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, there's been conversation about the fact that she filed for divorce only after 6 months of them being married, and people are basically saying she did it for his money.
She cited that her marriage to Dwight Howard is irretrievably broken, with no prospects for
The black woman, you see, the black woman, and women are serpents, just like their daddy Esau, man. Okay, the so-called white man. They're the same way, man. They can sit there. Look, she's dancing. She's making TikTok videos with him. She's playing the part, and these women know how to play the part. Okay, but trust me, man. They already have their escape plan. All right, before before they escape. Okay, check this out.
reconciliation. Day after that, which is July 2nd, they both filed restraining orders on each other. All right. She's asking the court that all marital assets and properties be divided equally between her and Howard.
See, now this man done worked his whole life to get to the NBA, make all of that money, success, championships, just for this woman to come in for 6 months and then go to Daddy Esau and say, hey, look, I want half of what he earned before I even met him. See? And this is why, look to you sincere brothers, if you're not married, you know, you don't have a woman that's pleased to dwell with you. All right. If you do, that's fine. If you do not fall in that love spirit, man. That's a demon spirit right now, man. All right. Oh, I love you, baby. I want to marry you. Do not fall into that spirit, man. You got a woman that wants to deal and y'all happy to deal. You ain't gotta put a wedding band. You ain't gotta make yourself a servant for her sake, man. Then you're gonna wind up like this guy losing everything that you have. He gave up everything just to lose everything, man. You see? Man. So this guy, Dwight Howard, needs to listen to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone as well. Okay, let me get this. All right, it's the book of St. Mark, and then we'll close it out. Book of St. Mark, chapter 3 and verse 27, and it reads, all right, this is red letter, so you know who's speaking. All right, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, okay? St. Mark 3, chapter 3, verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house, see, and spoil his goods, take all his money, his possessions, right? Except he will first bind, look, that band, right? Bind the strong man, see? And then he will spoil his house, see? And that man that's trying to enter into the strong man's house, that strong man's house are you Israelites, man. You Israelite men. Okay. And that man that's trying to enter in is Esau Edom, man. To spoil your goods. They want all that you possess, man. They want your family. You see? They want your money. They want everything, right? And who do they use? Right? It says, except he will first bind the strong man. That word bind, you can go back to band, like a wedding band. He does it through the woman, man. Okay? And then he will spoil his house. See? Just like Dwight Howard. See? Esau wanted his money, like he wants every Israelite man monies, every successful, well-to-do off Israelite man. He sends the woman. See? And look, this chick is ugly to me, man. She's not even cute. All right? She's probably a throat gut. Okay? And that's what he fell in love with. I love you, baby. You see? 6 months later, I'm out of here and I want half your stuff too, by the way. See? Let me read that again. St. Mark chapter 3 and verse 27. No man, Esau Edom, can enter into a strong man's house, the Israelite man house, and spoil his goods, take all of his money and all his possessions, except he will first bind the strong man through marriage, the woman, right? And then he will spoil his house, right? Divorce. See? There you go, man. And there's so many more other examples, man. But this is why Dr. Umar Johnson, all right, and all of you Israelite men, all right, should be listening to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Wise men, okay, wise words from wise men, all right. So I'm going to leave it there. Lord willing, it's edifying to the body, and it fed the sheep through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Shalom, and the Bible Ball.